That's a big piece.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Zoning Board's meeting of Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You want to hurry it up? The NFL might call me tonight.
And if you would just make sure that your cell phones are off, we would appreciate it. So, Heather?
Okay, so we have two reserved decisions scheduled for tonight. The first being appeal number 2025-032, Bayview Peconic LLC, 47 Bayside Avenue, Jamesport, Suffolk County Tax Map number 600-93-1-4.
Okay. Mr. Chairman and the rest of the board, with respect to appeal number 2025-032, STM number 600-93-1-4, the applicant being Bayview at Peconic LLC. This is an appeal of the Chief Building Inspector's determination dated July 29th, 2025, which rescinded a letter of pre-existing use issued on October 13th, 2022 for use as a transient rental. The board issued a 15-page decision. I'm only going to read the relevant portions of the decision and the ultimate determination. Under the section that reads on page 10, appeal based upon the record supporting the 2022 application for transient rental use. The decision reads as follows: based upon the above and based upon the record supporting the 2022 application for transient rental use, the zoning board denies the appeal seeking to overturn the chief building inspector's determination dated July 29th, 2025 to rescind a letter of pre-existing use issued on October 13th, 2022 for use as a transient rental for property located at 47 Bayview Avenue, Jamesport, New York. Under the section of the decision that reads appeal based upon the record supporting the 2022 application for transient rental use, together with proof submitted and made part of the record on appeal. On page 15, that section continues to read, based upon all of the above, the zoning board finds that while the record presented is voluminous, and even assuming arguendo that the 1959 code did not prohibit dwelling or transient rental in the R1 zoning district, the absence of licenses, tax returns, rent receipts from 1962 to 2001, inconsistencies in the letters, affidavits, tenant list, and license agreements, failure to obtain a rental permit in compliance with the 1996 Town Rental Code, and failure to provide adequate proof to address gaps for more than a year related to transient use of the property in 2017 and 2021 to avoid extinguishment of the use as set forth in Chapter Section 301-222C are insufficient to overturn the Chief Building Inspector's revocation of the letter of pre-existing use dated October 13th, 2022. The Zoning Board finds that the originally issued letter of pre-existing use dated September 15th, 2021 was never superseded or overturned by the second letter of pre-existing use and is still valid. Therefore, the property may be used as a single-family dwelling and is still subject to the Town of Riverhead rental laws. The determination reads as follows. The Zoning Board of Appeals determines that, based upon the foregoing, this zoning board denies the application/request for the application in its entirety and upholds the Chief Building Inspector's determination rescinding the letter of pre-existing use. Note, this determination of the zoning board shall not supersede or annul supersede or annul the original letter of pre-existing use dated September 15th, 2021 for single-family residence.
Have a second? Somebody make the motion.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Barnes?
Abstain.
Okay. Mr. Zawiski?
Aye.
Mr. Porsche?
Aye.
Mr. Gazzello?
I respectfully dissent. I note for the following that having observed the witness on direct as well as cross-examination, the so-called greatest engine for developing the truth, I find the applicant's testimony be beyond credible. Also, the cold record will not reflect it, but even his appearance, the very nuances are consistent with that. I also note that notwithstanding cross-examination, his testimony stands unrebutted. And also with respect to the remark that from 1962 to 2001, they failed to provide any paperwork. I'm reminded of the fact that it's my understanding the IRS only goes back 7 years. To demand that, I think was unreasonable. Also, it took 15 pages to overcome what his testimony. I think that stands there. And lastly, as far as inconsistencies, there's an old adage that inconsistency is the hallmark of truth. I would expect that when you tell a story that goes on for 60 years, there'd be some inconsistencies. If they were all intact, I would be suspicious, but I find that indicates the credibility. And respectfully, I dissent.
Okay, and I vote aye, so the variance has been denied. Heather?
The next reserved decision is appeal number 2026-006, North Shore Sprinkler, 1264 West Main Street, Riverhead, Suffolk County Tax Map number 600-120-2-2. This was for a special exception.
Who has this reading?
I have it.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, with respect to appeal number 2026-006, Suffolk County Tax Map number 600-120-2-2, where the applicant is SRS Incorporated, located at 1264 West Main Street, LLC, as the owner. The evidence in the record establishes that the use will not prevent the orderly and reasonable use of adjacent properties or of properties in the surrounding area or impair the value thereof. Use has operated and continued with no adverse effects on neighbors' properties, nor have there been documented complaints dealing with the noise and traffic. The use will not prevent orderly and reasonable use of permitted or legally established uses in the district wherein the proposed use is to be located, or of permitted or legally established uses in the adjacent districts. The safety, the health, the welfare, the comfort, the convenience, or the order of the town will not be adversely affected by the proposed use, and its location, the wholesale use, which is already in operation, is less or similarly impactful upon adjacent properties than past uses such as a propane facility and the more recent storage and distribution facility. The site is meticulously maintained and does not inhibit neighborhood aesthetics. Site plan review and approval by the planning board will be required, wherein the landscaping, paving, outside storage areas, screening, and the like will be addressed. Required inspections prior to the issuance of a certificate will ensure that the property is in compliance with both town code and New York State Building and Fire Code. This special exemption applies to the subject parcel known as 1264 West Main Street, wherein the existing building property and site improvements are for a wholesale sprinkler use. I should add here that
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
the recommendation is based upon, the recommendation, if granted, for the following variance is subject to the following conditions, which based upon the evidence presented will minimize the adverse impacts that the variance would have on the community or district as identified above. And motion so made.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mr. Porsche?
Aye.
Mr. Zawiski?
Aye.
Mr. Gazzello?
Aye.
And I vote aye. So the variance has been granted. Good luck.
Moving on to public hearings. The first of the night is appeal number 2025-036, Mohammed Faisal et al., 2041 Osborne Avenue, Riverhead, Suffolk County Tax Map number 600-62-1-15, agricultural protection zoning for a proposed 6-foot fence and 8-foot gate in the front yard. Applicant requests variances and/or relief from Town Code Chapter 301-37A2, where the proposed fence height is 6 feet in the front yard and the proposed driveway gate is 8 feet. Maximum allowed height is 4 feet in the front yard. This was adjourned from January 22nd, 2026. I will note the applicant's representatives did send in a survey showing the gate now proposed at 6 feet instead of 8 feet in height.
Okay, who's here to speak on this?
Anybody speak on it?
But Mr. Litt is supposed to be remote via camera. I don't know if...
He is online.
Who is it?
I'm Mark Development,
Yes,
real estate expert.
could you-
I'll follow.
Could you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. If you could just introduce yourself for the record, please.
Sure. This is Robert Litt Law Group at 66 North Village Avenue, Rockville Center, New York. And we represent Mohammed Fasil, one of the owners at 2041 Osborne Avenue in Riverhead, and the applicant in the instant application.
Are you an attorney, sir?
Yes, I'm an attorney. Yes, I am.
So,
Mr. Litt, did you appear at the January hearing before the zoning board?
Actually, we appeared before the zoning board on the November hearing, and the January hearing was adjourned, so we'll be able to complete our proper survey, which is now before you.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. My client originally submitted an application seeking an area variance to construct a front yard, 6 fence in height and driveway gate 8 feet in height, where 4 feet is permitted pursuant to section 301-37A2 of the zoning ordinance. The matter was initially presented before the board on a hearing on November 13th, 2025. At the hearing, the board requested that the survey be updated to show all fencing surrounding the property. The survey before the board today has been updated as requested. Additionally, it has been updated to show that while the applicant still seeks a variance for the front yard 6 foot in height, the variance request for the gate is now for a recessed front gate that is 6 feet high, reduced from the original requested 8 feet across a 20-foot wide driveway. The fence that is being proposed is aluminum, see-through, and each door of the gate is 10 feet and opens inward. The proposed fence and gate are completely in line with the neighborhood and its characteristics. Multiple properties in the neighborhood have similar fences, and there will be no negative impact should the board grant the applicant's request to construct his own similarly situated fence and gate. Additionally, at the time of the November hearing, the adjacent residential property owner signed a petition in support of the application, which we submitted to the board. The application, as modified, is less burdensome than previously submitted, a request for a 6-foot recessed gate as opposed to an 8-foot gate, and therefore the adjacent neighbor should have no objection to the modified application. The other neighboring properties are non-residential and mainly comprised of agricultural properties and farms, as well as a waste management site and plumbing and heating facility. The proposed fence and gate will have absolutely no impact on the functioning of the properties and businesses operating therein. The proposed gate will be positioned such that it will not obstruct any view or interfere with any traffic on Osborne Avenue and will be safe for all vehicles entering and exiting the subject property. Furthermore, the instant application satisfies the requirements of an area variance. The benefit to the applicant outweighs any detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood. The applicant and his brother owns the property together and uses as a secondary home, which they visit with their respective families throughout the year. The 6-foot fence will provide safety and security for the families, which include small children and elderly members. The proposed fence will fit perfectly well within the neighborhood's overall aesthetic. In fact, there's a plethora of properties in the neighborhood which contain similar fences. Therefore, granting the requested variance will have absolutely no negative impact on the surrounding property values. Based on the foregoing, I respectfully request that on behalf of my client, that the area variance request be approved. At this time, I would like to introduce Mark DeVella, our appraiser, to discuss his report, which was previously submitted to the board, which addresses the subject property, surrounding area, and area character. Mark?
You're not a lawyer, are you?
I'm not an attorney, no, I'm not.
Okay, please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
I do.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Mark DeVella. I reside at 11 Buchanan Street, Freeport, New York. I am an expert real estate witness in the Supreme Court of Nassau, Suffolk County, and many other municipalities where I've testified. My background is in real estate valuation. I continually serve as an expert witness in connection with a myriad of Nassau and Suffolk County real estate matters, including to and not limited to various boards in Nassau and Suffolk. I testify in over 1,200 cases in Supreme Court in Nassau and Suffolk County. As to real estate value, I'm a licensed residential and commercial real estate broker since 2001. I hold a special license for tax grievance as a non-attorney. I'm the contracted assessor in 2 Nassau villages. I'm titled in a 3rd. I additionally hold an appraiser's license. I have personal holdings throughout the Eastern Seaboard. My credentials are attached. I ask this board to accept me as an expert witness since I have not testified in front of you.
I got one question. How do you spell your last name?
DeVella, D-A, V as in Victor, E-L-L-A. It's respectfully submitted that the application seeking variance is approved. The applicant is seeking a variance for a 6-foot front yard fence and a recessed front gate that is also 6 feet width that stands across a 20-foot wide driveway. Chapter 301, Section 301-307, subsection A-2 of the zoning ordinance. The property is known as 2041 Osborne Avenue, Calverton, New York. It's shown on the Suffolk County tax map, town of Riverhead, District 600, Section 62, Block 1, Lot 15. The subject is 357,000 square feet plus of total property, 8.2 acres. It's zoned as a 210 single-family residential home. It was originally constructed in 1929. The subject has a front line frontage of approximately 423 linear feet along Osborne Avenue. The survey shows in Exhibit C that a 6-foot front yard fence along with a 6-foot recessed gate is 30 feet deep into the property. The 30-foot recessed gate provides significant operational benefits for the property access, aligning with standard safety and design practices for handling large vehicles. This configuration is effective for managing access of vehicles requiring extra space, such as contractors, box trucks, landscapers with equipment trailers, by keeping them entirely off the main roadway. An example of the fencing is shown in Exhibit L within this presentation. In interviewing the owner of the property, the expert witness learned that the property had been trespassed on a number of times. He was supposed to have submitted some reports to the board. I don't know whether or not. I have not seen them myself. The witness has also been informed that the neighboring properties, both residential and commercial, have submitted letters in support of the application with no negative letters of the application, of this particular application being submitted against the application.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Have those letters come in?
So we didn't get any of the reports. We did have, I think, one letter that came in with the original hearing. We didn't get any letters of opposition submitted, but we didn't get any additional letters of support. And I did receive the report that you're reading from via email. I only printed out one copy because I had anticipated there would be hard copies with the board.
Read it out orally?
I don't want to take up that much of the board's time.
I don't know what you do either.
That has the exhibits that he's referencing, but it was 37 pages, so I only printed out.
I do have a couple of extra copies that I can hand up to the
Now,
board.
we just passed.
Bring us a couple. Over here, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Within Exhibit I, it's noted that vehicles traveling along Osborne Avenue don't always pay attention to the speed and safety regulations. There's been a number of accidents over the years, They're annotated within the file, and they have happened on Osborne Avenue. One of them actually happened on the corner of Osborne and Young's, of which this property is adjacent to. We did put a FOIL request into the Township of Riverhead, and we asked for anybody that had applied for front yard fences between 20 and 25 that were residential homes. Within that query, we found that there were 16 applications that came in front of the board. None of them were denied. They are located in Exhibits G and H of this report. During my review of those homes, which the photos are provided, as well as the board's review and approval of those fences, I observed other fences adjacent to those other homes. My query was only from 20 to 2025, so I added those additional homes since they were adjacent to the others in my report as well. In Exhibit J, I highlight a pattern of rear yard 6-foot fencing and gates on properties 1.25 mile from the subject location. They back onto Osborne Avenue, yet they front Constable. Each one of these 5 contiguous houses has a 6-foot gate in the rear of the property adjacent facing Osborne Avenue. It sets a precedent and a consistency with regards to 6-foot fencing and 6-foot gates along Osborne Avenue. Approval of this application will not result in the loss of neighboring property value. It will not be a disruption to the harmony of the neighborhood. It is not a safety or health hazard to other people within the neighborhood, and the application is not out of character within the Township of Riverhead. The application should be approved. As of the writing of this report, there is an open FOIL request on that exhibit that has not yet been returned. In the event it is returned, I ask that the testimony stay open so that we can submit the results of that FOIL request. I don't want to take up any more of the board's time. They have a long night. I thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, I'll answer them now.
My first question is directed to both Mr. Litt and Mr. Davila. With
Yes.
respect to the other houses with similar fences, which is the closest to the most contiguous? Because it seems like they're all over the place.
So if you take the 5 contiguous that are along facing Constable Avenue,
I've seen that.
that are on the back of Osborne Avenue, they are within 1.25 miles of the subject property.
All right. Also, my notes indicate that your client had indicated that one of the reasons he wanted it was because of for lack of a word, harassment, and police had to be called, et cetera, et cetera. Other than you have in your thing, you have a picture of a police car and report of an auto crash. Where was the reports of prior police incidents?
I can respond to that question, Mr. Chairman. My client sought to secure as many as he could, but unfortunately, there were reports taken, but nothing in writing. He just reached out to them.
Mr. Pitt,
And-
Mr. Litt, so you have nothing?
No, I do not have any police
Okay,
reports
thank you.
out written in formality. Yes, that is correct.
So just a few questions. You mentioned traffic safety. Has there ever been a motor vehicle accident that impacted this property?
So I believe that the police chase within Exhibit I, which is the third, I believe the third incident along Osborne Avenue, which happened on the corner of Osborne and Young, actually
My question is, did it impact this property?
I believe,
Well, let me ask you, what's the nexus between a police chase and a 6-foot fence?
well, there is some stopping power to a fence line. It does, as the attorney mentioned, there are.
With all respect, I used to do that for a living. I reject that argument.
And why wouldn't a 4-foot fence provide the protection you claim that a 6-foot fence would in a police chase?
I believe it's a better sense of security for the owner of the property, and I believe that it's more in line with the character of the neighborhood.
But that's not the question. You specifically alluded to the fact that the 6-foot fence would prevent an impact from a car accident.
I did not say that.
Okay, so that is not your statement.
I did not say that.
Okay. Next, is it truly your position that a 6-foot fence in the rear yard sets a precedent for a 6-foot fence in a front yard?
In this particular case, I do. And the reason I do is you have 5 contiguous 6-foot fences that span the length longer than what my client's property is. And each one of those 6-foot fences has 6-foot gates on that fence line. So my client having a 6-foot fence line along Osborne Avenue with a recessed gate, and those individuals down the road, which I don't know whether they're legal or not at this point, but they are there and there are no violations and a FOIL was requested, do exist. As such, it is a precedent that there are 6-foot fences with 6-foot gates directly on Osborne Avenue within 1.25 miles of the property.
In the rear yard of those properties, correct?
There are vehicles outside of those gates parked on the side of the roadway in one of the photos that you can clearly see, and they are used for access. One of the properties, if I will point out within my presentation, which is the first photos, because there's 3 of them, which is 122 Constable, actually has a secondary structure on that property, and that dirt driveway is used exclusively for that second structure at the rear of 122 Constable.
May I just make one comment, please? If in Mark Lavella's report, he does mention in exhibits G and H that there was approvals of 6-foot fences on front yards as well in the town of Riverhead that were all approved, 16 in particular from 20 to 25. Is that correct, Mark?
Yes, it is.
Were
Right, so
any
those
of
are front
them
yard,
in this
6-foot fences.
neighborhood?
They're all within, yes, some of them are in Calvinton, that is
Are
correct.
any of them along Osborne Avenue?
The 5 that I found are included in this report that are here. They are not on a FOIL request. The FOIL has not been returned. I can't testify positively to that at this. As I closed my presentation, I said that I'd like to leave testimony open to find out whether or not they're approved.
You are aware, we've kept this hearing open since originally the hearing was in November, correct? And we are now at the end of April.
If all due respect, I think it's fine that based upon the information that you have today, because I would believe that the 16 approvals of several, most of them are in front yards, maybe except the 5 in the back of the backyards, but at least they're within the same neighborhood in the area. They may not be on Osborne in particular, but they are within in the town of Riverhead and have been approved by Riverhead for 6-foot fences on front yards. That's it. That's our position.
You know, one of the problems I have at this is why not closer to the house, which is one of the questions we asked you, the applicant, and secondarily, why not the entire property?
I do know they have a fence.
Pardon me, if the concern is for the safety, why not the entire property?
He is fencing the entire property. On the new
He does
survey,
have
the entire
fences, yeah.
property is fenced.
The rear, I thought the rear end wasn't.
No, he's.
All right, I withdraw that.
The new survey had indicated that there's a fence that's encompassing the entire property.
Okay, I
At the
withdraw
last
that.
hearing, the chairman had asked me to confirm that, and we did, and that's when we got a new survey. The previous surveyor unfortunately passed away. So the current surveyor went through and confirmed that there is fencing surrounding the entire property, Mr. Chairman.
Heard enough, anyway.
One of the issues I have is that you could easily have a 6-foot fence that's even with the front of your house, and then fence the rest of it in to the front yard where the street is with a 4-foot fence and meet the code. I don't really see the reason why you need the 6-foot fence on the street. I just don't see it. The safety issue I don't get, because if you have a 6-foot fence even with the front of your house, then you have a 6-foot fence that's, I guess, providing safety or security to your house, but what do you need the 6-foot for in the front yard? I mean, what are you protecting against in the front yard? I don't understand it.
I guess since it's a large property with many acres, putting multiple fences in multiple sections, would, I guess, may affect the aesthetics of the property. We understand the board's concern, but we felt that the fence's location would be satisfactory, as it did not cause a safety hazard at all along Osborne Avenue. And since there are other 6-foot fences, may it be the rear or not, it wouldn't be an issue. And that the fact that the gate itself was recessed in significantly would also not be an issue whatsoever if cars or trucks are pulling into the property. Nothing would be onto Osborne Avenue to cause a safety hazard as well before entering the property. we're really looking to make an effort to satisfy as much as we possibly could as to safety issues and concerns with the board, as they indicated at the last meeting back in November. And we made that effort to do so. And we just felt that having multiple fences just didn't make any sense. We wanted to put it at that location to really secure the most best part of his property.
I haven't had a chance to review every page of the packet, but are you submitting that? Are you submitting that all the pictures that are in the exhibit are 6-foot fences that have been improved?
Yes, I am. I produced this report, and I am testifying to the fact that these fences are in fact up and as they stand today.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking that, they went before the board and asked permission to have a 6-foot fence in their front yard?
In Exhibit H, absolutely. So in Exhibit H and G, or G and H, okay, you have all of your appeal numbers on these 3 pages out of the 100 or thereabouts zoning board meetings that I had to go through. And in H, you have the actual pictures of these fences that stand today with these applications that were in fact approved. You actually have a few more because as I went through the neighborhood and got these photos, there were others that were adjacent, and since they were adjacent to the approved property, and my spectrum was only from 20 to 25 for approvals, I took a few extra pictures.
So Exhibit H has got a bunch of pictures of a bunch of properties that we're flipping through.
Yes.
I'm looking at Exhibit G. Actually lists the items, in particular the appeal numbers and the properties where the town had approved 6-foot fences and such before the board. I mean, obviously there's appeal numbers, so and they list various appeal numbers, going over the last several years for these approvals for 6-foot fences.
So if I may, I quickly looked through some of the photographs you submitted. They don't depict fences in the front yard. Many of those are on the side yard. In addition, pursuant to town code, on through lots and corner lots, those may be deemed with multiple front yards, such that a 6-foot fence may be permitted. But the photographs you depicted and you're asking the zoning board to accept, several, are not depictions of homes with 6-foot fences in the front yard.
Some of them have.
I'm looking at 9 Laurel Gate. That looks like it's a front yard. It looks like the front of the house, doesn't it? I mean, maybe I didn't write the report, but Mark, would that be a front yard for 9 Laurel Gate?
That's a front yard with a 6-foot gate that opens inward on the front of the property.
Which item is that?
That is the first item in Exhibit H on photos 1 and 2, taken from 2 separate angles.
And that would be the same type of gate that we'd be building for our applicant here. Is that correct?
Most certainly.
Why is the picture of the not permitted fence in here? What's that statement? 39. It's on the second page of Exhibit H.
It wasn't within the foil. It's an 8-foot fence in a residential. It's got signage on it. It's not see-through. It's closed off, and it's across the street from 38 Alperti, which does have a 6-foot electronic gate on the front of it. So, as I said, there are things within the character of the neighborhood that I'm showing.
In the picture on 38 Alperti, I see brick pillars or brick stanchions. I don't see the gate.
The gate recedes behind and then comes across the driveway.
Where is 38 Alperti located?
It's on a cul-de-sac that is in Riverhead. It's in the...
Yeah, that's the rear of the property. It's not
Jamesport.
considered the front of the property.
That's Jamesport?
I believe so.
Yes.
That's
I'm
considered
also
the rear of the
seeing
property.
556 Sound Shore,
So Dan,
another
that's the
6-foot
rear of the
fence,
property?
Yeah.
Thank you.
which is the front as well.
If I may, 38 Alperti was approved, 301-37A2, 6-foot fence in the front yard, maximum was 4, and a 12-foot privacy wall. Permitted, approved.
They were, but the picture you have is the rear of the property. It's a flag lot that goes down about third of a mile. The nearest neighbor has 5 acres. There's nothing else there.
Okay, but he's got a 6-foot front yard fence that is approved, and his neighbor across the street also has an 8-foot gate and an 8-foot fence.
But it's not situated along a road, and it was just described as 3/4 of a mile back. How far?
A third of a mile, but it's a
Third.
non-town owned road.
Thank you. Well, that's what I just read
Could I bring the
earlier
board's
from the
attention?
code.
Can I bring the board's attention to 556 Sound Shore? It looks like to me, based upon the pictures here, that seems to be a front yard, a recessed gate as well. Again, what we were seeking here, that also was approved. Is that correct, Mark?
Which one is that?
Which one was that, sir?
556 Sound Shore.
Okay.
How far is that?
Mark, how far is that?
I didn't do a distance map on all of these since they were spread out throughout the township of Riverhead. So,
They're spread out throughout the township. I don't think that's persuasive.
well, I go back to the exhibit down the road of J&K, whereas we have Osborne Avenue, and you have 5 contiguous fences with 5 contiguous gates along Osborne Avenue with no violations, and that FOIL was handed in well over a week and a half ago.
Are those agricultural parcels?
They are zoned, they're part of the AP zone.
No. Is the use agricultural?
No, they're residential homes. They're 210 class, single-family residential homes. They are specifically,
And those homes received approval for a 6-foot fence in the front yard?
I didn't testify to that. I said that there was a
Well, I'm
FOIL.
asking you, those homes that you're referring to, do they have approval for 6-foot fence?
I'm waiting on the return of the FOIL, which was submitted over a week and a half ago. 122 Constable specifically.
Again,
What do
the
you-
zoning board has kept this matter open for months at council's request to specifically respond to proof that within this neighborhood, this area of Osborne, proof of residential homes with 6-foot fences in the front yard.
We
In
appreciate the
addition,
fact that the board
Pursuant
kept
to
the,
council's request,
Don't interrupt it, please.
I'm so
pursuant to
sorry, I apologize.
council's request, they were to submit proof of the police reports reflecting the alleged incidents of criminal trespass, and we've received nothing.
My client had indicated that he had the police reports. And when I followed up with him afterwards, he said that, no, they were not police reports. I apologize if I misspoke, but I was basing it upon my client's information and belief provided me by my client. But I don't think that's relevant here based upon the discussion today. And the fact is that we had shown that the town of Riverhead has approved 6-foot fences along the frontage of properties. As for the 6-foot fences that run along Osborne Avenue, yes, we sought to get information to confirm that. But obviously, we're beholden to the FOIL request and such, and we were trying to get everything done in a timely fashion. And we do appreciate the fact that the board went bent over backwards to work with us regarding gathering information. A lot of it had to do with the fact is our surveyor had passed away. We had to get a new surveyor, and it took a little time to get it. It was during the winter, a very tough, cold winter, to get a surveyor out there to do the work. So again, we apologize for that aspect of it. I also say thank you very much to the board for giving us additional time to try to resolve this, because we did start in November, but we did have a tough winter to try to get the surveyor done on a huge piece of property that's many acres. It's not a simple task to do here, and we were trying to get everything done. So we're hoping that the information that we provided today, the information that we've given to the board, is persuasive enough to know that they have approved 6-foot fences in the past. There's no issues regarding safety at this property. The way it's being put is it's going to be built properly and in a fashion that fits well within the community. We provided information from my expert indicating that's not going to affect values whatsoever. Yes, we were also trying to maximize the safety aspect of it by keeping it as far as we could from the house to protect as much of the property. And again, I do thank the board for their efforts here and try to resolve this, and thank your team over there, because we were working with them the last several months and they were extremely helpful. and very pleasant through this process. I do want to make that very known. Your whole team over there at the board was very, very pleasant. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Hi, Mr. Chairman, respectfully, I move regarding the appeal number 2025-036. I move that the appeal of Mohammed Faisal et al., 2041 Osborne Avenue, Riverhead, SCTM number 600-62-1-15, Agricultural Protection Zoning, APZ zoning, for variance and/or relief from Town Code Chapter 301-37A Subdivision 2, where proposed fence height is not allowed, be denied respectfully because the grounds alleged are insufficient. Specifically, I find that, among other reasons, for instance, the photographs supplied as precedents, I find not controlling. They are not, for various reasons, not on all fours, factually or otherwise. Secondarily, the applicant affirmatively indicated that one of the reasons that they required it was because there had been a series of police incidents, and he was specifically directed to suppliers, which I understand, it's been said that there's been no record, it's been unable to produce any record, but what we have instead is a photograph of a police car and an indication of a crash, or a collision, which I'm dissatisfied there's any nexus between that collision and the need for a fence. Therefore, I move respectfully that the application be denied.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Barnes,
Aye.
Mr. Portia,
Aye.
Mr. Zawiski,
Aye.
Mr. Gazillo,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So the variance has been denied.
Good luck.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Before we move on, can I just have a copy of that report for the file?
Yeah.
Yes.
New survey too, right?
Yeah, I have the survey. Thank you. Okay, so, appeal number 2026-002, Maria Salguero, 178 Main Road, Aquabog. This was adjourned from March 12th. They were supposed to get additional information with regard to impervious surface coverage to the building department because they needed additional relief and have a new denial letter issued. That has not yet happened. So this will need to be adjourned to a later date and re-noticed based upon the additional relief.
Do you have to adjourn this? It's just gone, right?
So we're going to adjourn it without a date and requirement. When there is a submission, it will have to go through the entire notice proceeding again,
Yeah, re-noticed,
including a fee
reposted.
for the poster, everything.
Huh? They don't have to refile, they'll update the
Hold it.
application. Yeah.
All right, somebody want to read this? I respectfully move that,
Mr. Chairman, with respect to appeal number 2026-002, Maria Salguero, 178 Main Road, Aquabog, Suffolk County Tax Map number 600-85-2-2, Rural Corridor RLC zoning to legalize amendment in addition to dwelling. I recommend that we offer an adjournment until such time that a revised plan or a revised request seeking additional relief for other outstanding items that have since been found is issued. Can we put a cap on this? I mean,
Yes.
Dale says something in here.
I'd like to add not to exceed 1 year from the date of the original hearing. The failure to do so, the application will be deemed abandoned.
somebody move it.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Barnes,
Aye.
Mr. Portia,
Aye.
Mr. Zawiski.
Aye.
Mr. Gazillo,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So that has been adjourned with no date.
Appeal number 2026-005, Charles Aegis, 167 Pier Avenue, Jamesport. The applicant has redesigned their project to no longer require a variance, and we did receive correspondence from Megan Carrick, who is the representative, withdrawing the zoning board application.
So there's nothing required there, right?
Tonight.
Good, let's move on. Go ahead, Heather.
Next is appeal number 2026-009, Marie Andrews, False Landing Road, Wading River, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-58-2-12.3, Residence B80 zoning, for a minor subdivision, proposed Lot 1. Applicant requests variances and/or relief from Town Code Chapter 301-31, where total impervious surface coverage is 19.2%, maximum permitted is 15%, and Town Code Chapter 301-238, where temporary greenhouse is 16.2 feet from side property line, minimum required is 30 feet. We did receive the affidavit of posting and mailing and the certified mailing receipts.
Hi, Mr. Cuddy, how are you? Please state your name and address.
Charles Cuddy, 445 Griffin Avenue, Riverhead, New York. I'm here with members of the Andrews family. The Andrews have a 3-lot subdivision based upon years ago development rights being sold. They're looking to get 1 lot so they can use a residence on it. This is somewhat unique in my experience because this very map was approved by the town board in 2005. And if I may, I'll hand up the resolution from the town board.
Thank you.
So the 16 feet that one of the greenhouses shows now instead of 30 feet was before the town board. Mr. Denzeski moved it and Ms. Blass seconded it, and they approved exactly what's before you. Unfortunately, over time, things haven't changed, and in order to cure what was done, we're asking now that this board grant the variance for that difference of 16 to 30 feet. So it's been once before the town board, they approved it, and days gone by, the town board approved site plan. I don't think there can be any impact on the neighbors because the neighbor is the Andrew family. So no one gets hurt by it. Certainly there's no environmental aspect to it. The greenhouses have been there for years. They're used by the Andrews family on a continuous basis. There really is no alternative because the greenhouses are there. They can't be moved very easily. So I think all things being considered, that the variance for the distance should not be a problem. The same is true, I think, with the impervious surface. The impervious surface, instead of being 20, is 15. I'm sorry. It's 20 now and it was 15 then. And it should be granted on the same basis. That the lot has been there, nothing has changed, no one is affected by it. And effectively, this is the very map that was approved in 21 years ago.
Mr. Cuddy, do you have any objection if the zoning board was to require a covenant on the properties stating that if the property's ownership was no longer united in interest, that the encroachment of the greenhouses would be removed and remedied?
Well, that's fairly significant for them to do. I proposed something similar, I know, before. That would be up to the Andrews. I don't want to say that they can move them that easily.
I think, Anne Marie, can I bring Mr. Cuddy the map just to show him?
I have a map.
Okay. It's I think this is what she's referring to, that.
You're not talking to the 16-foot greenhouse, the one that's 16 foot back, or you're talking the small ones?
I'm just talking about the encroaching greenhouse. It's just the encroachment. I'm not talking about
Okay.
just the encroachment.
The Andrews are here, maybe they could step up and want to take a look at it and see.
Gotta come up here, sir. you're both going to speak, we need to swear in.
I just want them to look first, and then I'll...
Okay, go ahead. I'll stand the next one.
Yep. And can I just clarify it so I can make sure, because what Heather's showing me is one thing, and I'm not sure I'm... There are two small greenhouses that are a little bit over the line. Is that the ones you're talking about?
Notice that there's a tiny little triangular corner.
It's over.
This one here. Yes, okay. Right. Can you move that?
It's only if the properties, the covenant would read, if the properties were no longer under the same ownership and you transferred, let's say you sold the property.
Within family or without,
Yeah, listen, if your family's willing to keep it, that's great, but if you sell the
Hold on a
property.
minute. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name and address.
Andrews Jr., 1038 Sound Avenue, Calverton, New York, 119.
Did you want to speak also?
I don't know, but just in case.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
Robin Trapani, 43 Annandale Road in Comac, New York.
Okay, go right ahead now, please.
We sold to a stranger.
Okay, if it was sold within the family, and the family's all agreeable, it's fine to stay like that. Correct, Ms. Prudenti, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I'm going to be very candid. This application, if approved by the zoning board, is still going to require subdivision approval. In the subdivision process, I am very confident that the planning board will not approve a lot division wherein improvements of one lot are encroaching on another lot.
Okay.
And I think it's a simple, straightforward, effective way not to have to, if the zoning board is inclined to approve it tonight without having to move any of the structures.
And so what you're saying is that if it's sold to a stranger,
Correct,
then they would move it,
They would have-
correct.
and that's agreeable?
I'm agreeable.
Yeah, the title company would require it as well,
Yeah,
if there was gonna be title insurance. So it probably would be resolved before the closing.
But the answer is yes.
correct.
Okay, good.
And so, Mr. Cuddy, I would ask the zoning board that if the zoning board were to grant this application, that myself as zoning board counsel work with Mr. Cuddy and come up with a covenant that is consistent with the proceedings tonight.
That's agreeable to the applicant.
Right, and it would only be that one greenhouse, that one,
That-
that we're talking about. Okay. Okay. We're all in agreement with that, I think. Yeah.
You know, I can't represent if the planning board during the subdivision process would require something else, but I believe the planning board would accept the actions of the zoning board.
We are hopeful, yes.
I'm confident.
I'm confident too.
Hope springs eternal.
Okay. That's the end of our presentation.
Okay.
Okay.
Is anybody on Zoom that wants to talk about this variance? Apparently not.
Only Leroy.
Okay. Who's got this? I do. Let's go.
Mr. Chairman, with respect to appeal number 2026-009, I move that the appeal of the Mary L. Andrews Revocable Living Trust on Holtz Landing Road in Wading River, Suffolk County Tax Map numbers 600-58-2-12.3, Residence B80 or B80 zoning for variances and/or relief of Town Code Chapter 301-31, where total impervious surface coverage is 19.2%, and maximum permitted is 15%, Chapter 301-238, where temporary greenhouse is 16.2 feet from side property line, minimum required is 30 feet, be granted, subject to planning board approval of site plan and covenant to be approved by ZBA council requiring removal of greenhouse encroachment if title and interest in the lots are no longer unified, AKA the same ownership, the encroachment be removed. In accordance with the applications and sketches with the amendments thereto, if any, as filed with the building inspector.
Second.
And the only thing, I will work with Mr. Cuddy. We can add the family language without objection.
I second again. I guess that's four.
Just somehow specify that it is that one greenhouse somewhere along the line in the language, okay?
Right,
It's the only one that's encroaching.
Which greenhouse it is.
Yeah,
only one.
it's the only portion that's encroaching, Mr. Andrews. That's,
All right.
Okay, moved and seconded. Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Thank you, you're welcome. Mr. Porsche?
Aye.
Mr. Zawiski?
aye.
Mr. Gazzillo?
Aye.
And I vote aye, so your variance has been granted. Good luck.
Good night, Mr. Cuddy. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, Mr. Cuddy, thank you.
Last appeal of the evening, is appeal number 2026-010, Robert Roque, 451 Northside Road, Wading River, Suffolk County Tax Map number 600-36-2-12, Residence B80 zoning, for a proposed single-family dwelling. Applicant requests variances and/or relief from Town Code Chapter 301-31, where proposed front yard setback is 35.2 feet. The minimum required is 60 feet, and I will note that we received the affidavit of posting and mailing and the certified mailing receipts.
Do we have an attorney here?
Architect.
Okay, we need to swear both of you in if you're going to talk. Please raise your right hand. I solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Please state your name and address.
My name is Robert Stanzial, 316 Lincroft Road, New Rochelle, New York.
Thank you, and you, sir?
Robert Roque, number 109 Patton Drive, Yonkers, New York.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Did you want to leave these plans out?
Yeah. Right up. Justin, if we're able to get the ceiling camera, I think I have these oriented correctly.
That's the ones we have, right, Mr. Sanson?
The same ones you have.
Yeah, okay.
Brought them just in case, yes. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Again, Robert Stanzial, architect here with Bob Roque, who's the owner of 451 Northside Road, Wading River. 451 Northside Road is an existing non-conforming residential lot located in a B80 zone district. Bob's family, his wife's family, has actually owned this lot and the two adjoining lots for over 60 years. They've resided in either residence on the left-hand side or right-hand side for that many years. This particular property, there was a building permit granted approximately 1959 to build a single-family house on this site. And foundation was started but never completed, but it's still there, and Bob has maintained it over the years, hoping to build someday, and that's why we're here. So we have the issue is that the house was approved with a front yard setback of, it was built with a front yard setback of 35.2 feet. And that's where we're proposing to build this new building. Now the zoning requires a 60-foot setback in this zone. So that's where our dilemma is here. If you look at the site plan, you can see, maybe better on your plan, outlined in red, I did in front, is where the existing foundation is and where it's going to be part of the new structure, which is going to be built towards the back. The property drops off towards the back, slopes off, so there'll be access actually from a small basement level to the rear yard as well. The house is going to be a 2.5-story house, a 2.5-story dwelling with 3 bedrooms, 2 on the first floor and just a large bedroom up on the second floor, which is mostly a dormer space. There's also going to be an accessory garage in the rear yard, 2-car garage in the back, just with a gravel driveway giving access to it. There are numerous dwellings actually on North Side Road, just immediately next to it, and also on North Wading River Road that actually have similar or shorter setbacks, so we don't think we're building something that's out of character with the neighborhood here. Again, this is going to be residence for Bob. He's going to retire here. He actually owned the residence to the left of this for many years. He rebuilt that house and sold it a few years ago, but wants to move back into the neighborhood and retire here, so he knows the area very well, still has family out here, and this is being here this evening. I could go through the area variance test if you like, but I think you have it there in your report. But
Let me ask you one question. With all this property that's behind it, and the garage is far away, why wouldn't this house be moved back into the lot further?
Well, primarily because we're hoping to use a foundation that's 600 square feet already there. And we think, with respect to the house adjoining it, which really has the same setback as this house would, it might look out of character in between. Be 3 houses stepped back along the road, which might look awkward, so we feel it would be better actually where we're proposing it on the existing foundation.
So the intent would be, it looks like the existing foundation, I guess it's the rear wall, the back wall,
Yes.
stopped. So you would basically be taking out that back wall and then trying to continue on if you can save the other 3 walls?
Yeah, we're going to actually keep that wall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to keep all 4 walls and then add foundation wall to the rear of that for the balance of the house.
Okay.
Correct, yes.
So the footprint of the foundation that's right there right now, from an
Correct.
encroachment standpoint, would not get encroach anymore?
That's correct, yes.
One other question, I'm just looking at the thing here. So I guess it's the parcel to, let's say the right, but I guess it would be the north here.
Yes.
Where it's got existing slate patio and stuff like that, that all seems like it's part of, on this property.
Yeah, it's being, again, one family-owned property, things sort of shifted around, but that's going to be removed.
That's, okay, so that's all
That'll
going to be removed.
From this property, so that'll be,
Okay, is that the same with the concrete driveway? Is that gonna, on the north side? That's all going?
yes,
Okay.
that's going to be replaced. The driveway in front of this house, immediately to the left, will have permeable pavers, and the rest will be gravel to the back of the house. So.
Okay.
So when the plans were submitted to the building department, did the chief building inspector approve utilizing the existing foundation?
He did, yes. We gave him a letter, that said it was structurally sound. We did inspections of it, and.
Great, so they did an inspection and gave an approval.
Correct.
So the plans that you're submitting does not include a foundation permit?
No, well, the whole building permit will have, the existing foundation will be part of the whole permit package, because we're adding foundation to this existing foundation, so.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Is there anyone else to be heard? Anyone else have any questions? Who's got this one?
I don't have this one. Do you have this one?
I'll read it. Okay, nobody else? We're good? Okay, Mr. Chairman and the rest of the board, with respect to appeal number 2026-01, I respectfully move that the appeal of Robert Roque, 451 Northside Road, Wading River, STM number 600-36-2-12, residence B80, RB80 zoning, for variances and/or relief from the Town Code, Chapter 301-31, where proposed front yard setback is 35.2 feet. The minimum required is 60 feet, be granted, in accordance with the applications and sketches, with the amendments thereto, if any, as filed with the building inspector.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Barnes,
Aye.
Mr. Porsche,
Aye.
Mr. Zaweski.
Aye.
Ms. Zillo,
Aye.
and I vote aye, so your variance has been granted. Good luck.
Thank you very much, appreciate your time.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, minutes we have.
I'd like to add, if I could, that in 1957, my in-laws bought right out of the war. They came out of the war, and they came out here and they purchased those properties,
Right.
all 3 of them. And over the years, my mother-in-law owned one, my aunt owned the second one, and the third one was my uncle. So what happened was the middle property belonged to an aunt her name was Susie. When she had that property, she had both foundations, my father-in-law and Susie's foundations, done at the same time. They're in line with each other. And my father-in-law built on his. So, and Susie passed away. When she died, it was left to her son. When her son died, literally 30 days later, the property went to the daughter. The daughter sold the property to my mother-in-law. I've maintained all these properties for years. I bought the uncle's house on the left, and I built, Bob was the architect for that house 30 years ago, and he's the architect for this house, and 30 years later, 32 years later. And what happened was the land, my mother-in-law owned it, and my mother-in-law died, and she left it in probate to 9 different nieces and nephews. So for the last year and a half, I've had to buy those properties back, those pieces of the property back, so that I could build my retirement home. So it's been going back and forth. I've obtained everything, a topography, a survey, a topographical, a survey, a soil sample, the waste management, the water. I've done everything possible. This should be, hopefully, the last house that I built, because I want to retire there. I love Wading River. I sold the house that I built because of financial reasons. My son went to college, my other son had a medical condition, so I sold it. So now I have the property back, and I have the opportunity to build my retirement home so I could stop. And I'd like to do that. I like Wading River. I love Wading River.
I hate to ask this question. How much did your father-in-law pay for each lot?
How much did he pay for the house?
For the lots?
For the lot back then? Ooh, I do have the deeds.
Just answer the question. I don't know.
I think it was about $3,000.
A lot? For the lot?
No, well, 3 lots.
All 3 lots.
Yeah, 4.5 acres altogether.
Okay.
So, and I have the smallest piece now.
And they lived in tents in the backyard while they were building.
I know. My in-laws did the same thing in Rocky Point. Only thing, they bought it for $40.
I'm at the age that I have to stop.
Good night. Good luck.
Have a great
Good job, Council. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before we run off, we
No, we're not gonna run off.
we have minutes, March 26th of 2026.
I have a motion.
So moved to approve.
Good night.
Good night.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next,
Motion to adjourn.
next meeting date is May 14th, 2026.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Barnes,
Justin wants a
Yes,
motion
sir.
to close, if you can.
wait, are you having good travel?
Yes, I am, sir.
Good. When,
I'll be home Monday.
Can we expect your arrival in the North Fork? Can you hear me, Mr. Barnes?
He said April. Let's have a motion to close the meeting.
Wants you to close.
Motion to close.
Motion, so moved.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Hey, listen, there's only one guy that makes them. Never mind.